All right, guys. I have officially muted the lines. I want to welcome everybody to the call. My name is Ramasio Fulcher. I am the California kid from California. Listen, this call is brought to you by Networking Wisdom. This is our Keep It Pro training call. We do this call every single Sunday. We've been doing it for the last 3 years. This call is specifically intended for anyone who is a part of the direct sales network marketing industry. It doesn't matter whether you are new to the profession or whether you've been involved for 30 years. It doesn't matter. This is a free call that we do every single Sunday. This same time, same phone number. It's open globally. We don't talk about company names. We don't talk about company products. There's two specific things that we teach on this call. Number one is we teach you the specific skills that you need to get yourself to the very top of your specific network marketing company that you're a part of. The second thing that we teach you is we also teach you life skills as well, okay? And so you'll find that as you grow as a person, anything you attach to will also grow as well. I also want you to know that these calls are recorded every single Sunday. They're recorded. In fact, we're going to flip this call into a podcast because it's very difficult to coordinate thousands and thousands and thousands of people to be on a conference call all around the world at the same time. And so what we found that's more effective is obviously going to a podcast method, but I also want you to know this. For right now, we have literally tens of thousands of people that listen to these calls on a weekly basis all around the world. And for that, we actually record these calls and we upload them to the website within less than 24 hours so that you can share and you can listen all day long. Now, lastly, I want to say this before we jump in. Many people oftentimes ask us, wow, why do you do this call every single week? Why don't you charge for this call? How come, we don't know if there's a billion people on or one people on, and nor do we really care. Our philosophy is this. We believe what we make happen for others, the universe will gladly make happen for us. And so this is really about giving. That's what this call is all about. And I can tell you, as you look at the climate of our world today, and you see all that's going on from an economic perspective, if you look at the public health perspective, we are in some very, very interesting times. And so to be able to be on a call where iron sharpens iron, where you can actually grow yourself as well as grow your skill set, and it's absolutely free, is an unbelievable bargain. And so we love being able to be here for you and to provide the value on this call. Now, guys, I'm really excited. I'm fired up to actually continue a series that we've been doing for the last 4 weeks. Today is the fifth and final call of a series that we've been doing entitled Favor. Favor is something I want to encourage you, if you're just joining us and you're just listening for the first time, I want to encourage you to go back to the very beginning of this series. You can just go through my Facebook feed. You'll find it there, okay? And I want you to listen to call number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally today. Because today we're going to cap it off, baby. This is going to be the finalization or the finale of the series of Favor. And so do yourself a favor and listen to the prior calls in addition to the one that you joined in on today, okay? Now, guys, I'm really excited to be able to bring on a friend of mine, a colleague, literally a leader amongst leaders. This young man that you guys are going to have a chance to meet today, he's very unique. This is not an everyday Joe that we're talking about here. This is someone that has a big vision, big vision, and someone who is a huge believer when it comes to the topic of favor. And I got to tell you guys, I am very excited not only to bring him on today with us, but I couldn't think of a better person, a better individual than my good friend that you're going to meet here in a minute to really come and cap this series off when we talk about favor. I happen to know this young man for quite some time now, and I've been able to see the fruit in his own life as a result of this concept of favor that we're talking about today. But before I turn the call over to him, I've got to tell you who he is. This gentleman he deserves all the accolades, all the recognition for all the dedication, all the persistency, and all the hard work that he's put in to his craft. Ladies and gentlemen, at present, right now, you are getting ready to hear from the number one African-American leader in network marketing today. I repeat, the number one African-American leader in network marketing today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know we typically don't talk income claims, but sometimes you just got to break a rule or two, if you know what I mean. This gentleman earned over $9.2 million last year, in the last 12 months. $9.2 million in income. Now, I want to make sure you understand what I just told you. I don't want you just to be so impressed with how much money he's made. In our profession, anytime you can make that much money, it means you're helping tons and tons and tons of other people make money as well. It is a huge, gigantic accomplishment. In the entire world of network marketing, there's over 200 million people worldwide involved in this profession. This gentleman has risen to number 6 in the entire world of this profession. And ladies and gentlemen, I can just tell you, he's not only someone that knows how to make money. One of the biggest things that I really enjoy about him is his passion for serving and helping other people. I can't tell you enough how I've watched him train. I've watched him speak. I've watched him lead. I've watched him fall and get back up again. I've seen it firsthand. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, if I were you, I would pay attention. It's not every day you get the opportunity to be on the phone for free, to listen to someone that's at the top of the top of the top of the top of what they're doing. And so, guys, I'm excited, as you can tell, to bring on the line a good friend, a good colleague of mine, and that is Mr. David Imonitie. David, are you there with us today?
I hope I am. Imonitie, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, man. Welcome to the call, brother.
Oh, man, appreciate you having me on. Really excited to actually be on this call with you today.
Man, we're glad to have you. As I said earlier, man, I couldn't think of a better person to come on in here and cap this thing on off as we wrap up this series about favor. And so what I want to do, David, is I'd like to, if you don't mind, I want to just get right into it, unless you had something you wanted to start off with.
Yeah. First, I actually want to say, once again, thank you for inviting me onto this call. Imonitie Fulcher is someone that I've known now. It's actually 12 years. Right around this time, we actually met on a cruise ship right around this time in 2008. And at that time, I was in my 4th year in the industry of network marketing and really hadn't had any monetary success whatsoever. But that was a turning point. That was a huge turning point for me, getting a chance to meet him and getting a chance to just, see someone that was around my age group that was winning at a very, very high level. Multiple 6-figure earner at that time, and now has gone on to be a multiple 7-figure earner in this industry. So, I never forget people that inspire me, because you don't get to where it is that you are right now without being inspired by other people. And that's part of the favor that I've been able to receive. I think it was favorable for me to be on that cruise ship at that particular time and get a chance to watch his rise in this industry over the years. So I want to say thank you for inviting me, and thank you for being that inspiration to me.
Absolutely. Speaking of inspiration, David, I just want to again publicly say I can never tell you enough, man, for what an outstanding, I didn't say wonderful, I said outstanding job of leadership that you are doing right now all around the world. You make all of us proud seeing you do what you do, man, and so I just want to commend you for that before we get into this.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it again, man. Appreciate it a whole lot.
Absolutely. Well, man, listen, as we this is the final call about favor, and I want all of the listeners to know, as you hear the word favor come forward, I don't want to assume that all of you know what we're talking about. So I want to set the stage properly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking about do me a favor, go to the store and buy me a loaf of bread. That is not the type of favor that we're referencing when we talk about this concept of favor. David, on this call, we have tens of thousands of people that listen to this replay weekly. And, of course, we have believers, we have non-believers. And so you'll have some people that really don't have a context of what do you mean when you talk about favor. And so, David, the first thing I would like to maybe jump into so that we can really just get to it is I'd like for you, if you don't mind, explain to everyone what is favor.
Well, Romasio, one of the things that I do every time I do teach on any subject, and what I do, it's actually very simple. I actually look up the real meaning of that word, and I just go right to Google and I just say what is the meaning of the word favor, and when it pulled up, it simply means approval, support, or liking for someone or something, right? So when I look at that word, how have I been able to receive favor, and how can you receive favor? Favor is really just someone approving you or giving you the support or liking you enough, okay, to bestow whatever it is on you. And when I think of it from that perspective, I can't leave out my own personal beliefs. Now, I don't push my beliefs on other people, but I'm very strong on what it is that I believe. There's no way I could have gotten to where it is that I am right now today. There's no way that I couldn't get to where it is that I am, where I'm going tomorrow and next year and 5-10 years from now, without the approval, without the support, and the love of first, my God. That's, for me, that's the one thing that I've been able to really lean on and really stand on. And the reason why I say that is because that has fortified my belief system. When I go out and I go out and say, okay, I'm going to build a business, or I'm going to build my real estate company or my ambulance company or my network marketing business, I know that I have the approval. I know that I have the support. I know that I have a power behind me, behind those decisions that I make. I've applied certain principles that position me for favor, that position me for approval. So as I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today, because I've never heard anybody ask me to talk about favor. That's never been a topic that I've really talked about. But I really believe that in order for you to be positioned for that approval, for that support, it really relies on another word that starts with F. And for me, I don't know if it's the same thing for who's listening right now, but I think your faith, and whatever that faith is, I think that faith that you have, that positions you for the support, for the approval, right? Because now it's kind of like a king. If you come before a king and a king says, "Hey, I'm giving you this mission here, and I want you to go and do this," and they're giving you their stamp of approval. When you walk out of that king's presence, you walk out with him with you. Does that make sense? You walk out with his approval. You walk out with his support, and that gives you the confidence. That's the key. The confidence that you now have to go out and do what it is that you want to go out and do. So I think that's, for me, that's how I look at the word favor.
That was really well broken down, talking about faith first, to put yourself in a position to receive the actual approval/favor. So talk a little bit about that. Obviously, go right ahead, open it up, let us know, because again, the reason why we're doing this call is because we live right now in some very uncertain times. People don't know who to listen to. People are scared. People have a whole bunch of emotions. I summarize it this way: we've never been this way before. We've never been down this street before. And so as people are trying to, protect their health, At the same time, we're seeing unemployment rates at all-time records that we've never seen before. But then at the same time, we're seeing people like you that are winning at an all-time high, you know. And so, again, it brings up the point that, wow, for him to be winning like this at this present time, it has to be more to it. And I knew for certain that favor is a big part of that. And then you talked about positioning yourself for the favor. Can you take us a little deeper on what specifically you mean when you talk about positioning yourself?
Yeah, you know, and I'll just give you a couple more definitions of favor, then I'll really tackle that. It says favor is an act of kindness beyond what is due or usual. All right, so it's an act of kindness beyond. So when I look at my life, Ramasio, when I look at the last 10 years, 10, 11 years, it has been unusual kindness that has gone far beyond what my imagination was. You know, when I started this industry at the age of 21, I didn't have a clue as to what my life could look like 5, 10, 15 years down the road. I just knew I didn't want it to look the way it looked at that particular time. And so when I look back at the people that I've been able to meet and the people that I've been able to work with, I have to say that favor has played a major, major role. But what positions you for the favor, ladies and gentlemen, is really understanding faith, right? And when you look at faith, right, let's look that up. I actually taught on this the other day, all right, the meaning of the word faith. This is really going to touch you here. It says to have complete trust or confidence in someone. So because I have complete trust, because I have complete confidence in someone, and who's that someone for me? That someone for me is God. That now positions me for the act of kindness, the beyond type blessing, the favor that is on my life. So the question for you that's listening in right now is, how do I get faith? All right, because you can either have faith or you can have fear. Now, we know what fear does. Fear is crippling. Fear doesn't allow you to take action. Fear wants you to believe something that hasn't even happened yet. But when you have faith, that means that you are hearing something. You're hearing, because that's how faith comes, right? Faith comes by hearing. So what are you hearing right now? A lot of people are hearing what CNN has to say. A lot of people are hearing what Fox News has to say. People are paying attention to, you know, the COVID-19 stats. And I'm not saying don't be informed, but they're paying attention to it, and they're focused on it, and that's what they're hearing. And because that hearing is not giving them light, that hearing is not giving them life, it's actually causing more death. What's created right now is another pandemic that's far greater than the COVID-19. The real pandemic is fear. A lot of people have gotten sick. A lot of people have gotten ill because of the fear of the pandemic, not necessarily the pandemic itself. All right, so it says the thing that I feared the most has come upon me. So how do I go about developing this power of faith that will position me for what? The favor to come into my life. Well, there's only one known way to actually acquire this power of faith, and that is autosuggestion. You know, Ramasio will tell you, any leader in this industry, anyone who's made millions of dollars in this industry will tell you that autosuggestion, what was taught in Think and Grow Rich years and years and years ago, is going to be the number one way that you actually create the power of faith. All right? So you've got to understand how that works. And what I learned through autosuggestion and really understanding this power was I really studied the self-confidence formula. Because remember, I've got to have the confidence, right? I've got to have complete confidence. I've got to have complete trust. So not just the confidence in someone, but also confidence in myself. So how do I build myself up to the point where I believe I'm worth that favor, that I'm worth the beyond type blessing? When I look at the home that I live in right now, and I remember coming here from Nigeria and my mom having to be on food stamps, and my mom having to, you know, sell her food stamps for cash. She would sell, you know, $10 in food stamps for $5 in cash. right? So she could put gas in the car because food stamps was just for food stamps, right? So when I look at all that and I look at my life today, and you drive 2 Rolls Royces and you drive a Ferrari, that's beyond blessing. That's not the standard. That's not what everybody does. You look at Imonitie driving a Rolls Royce, driving a Lamborghini. That's not the standard. That's beyond blessing. But what allowed him to get there, ladies and gentlemen, is the faith and the self-confidence that he actually created in himself. And that's what I want to teach you here tonight as we go through this call here.
Absolutely. Well said, David. Take us deeper. Take us into, so again, you're talking about, and again, I'm just going to kind of play off what you're saying because, again, I want to bring every mentality of person onto this call. I want to speak for those people, those that believe, that obviously understood exactly what you said, but more importantly, those people that they've never been down this road before. All they know to do is go work and do as told. And this whole concept of faith is something that it's new for some people. But they're realizing, because of what's happening in our world today, and they don't know who to trust. They don't know who to listen to. What I believe is happening right now is more and more than ever before, Dave, you've got more people open to other alternatives. What they thought worked before clearly is eradicated now. It's not working. It's an all-time high. So now people are listening in to calls like this and saying, hey, listen, David, I want to learn. Teach me. What's step 1? What's step 2? How do I position myself and begin to build my faith? Can you give me some ABCs?
For sure. And, guys, the favor is the end result, right? So we've got to begin with the end in mind, all right? So what does your life look like when it's favorable? That's the first thing that we really, really want to tackle here today. And that's something that you have to do, because we're going to walk you through how to receive favor, right? But you've got to know what that favorable life looks like. And that's why it's so important for you to begin with the end in mind and start to write down what your definite purpose is. When I started out, my definite purpose was just to make some money, right? Then it was, okay, I want to make $100,000 a year. Then it was, I want to make $100,000, I want to make $100,000 a month. And then, it was, I want to make $100,000 a week. But now I've got a different definite purpose, is to positively impact the lives of a billion people. And that's why we created, a social media platform called Believe Nation, BelieveNation.com. And it's really designed to do just that, to positively impact people's belief system so they can go out there and achieve the goals and the dreams that they have for themselves. So how do I get to this favorable life? First thing is I've got to know what that life looks like. So I want you to write it down. I want you to write down. The way I want you to write it down, and let's just say it's an income goal, all right? Let's just say your goal right now is to make $10,000. I don't know where you are right now in your business. Maybe you're already making that. The number really doesn't matter, but I want you to write it down this way. I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn over $10,000 per month in whatever business that you're in right now. Maybe you're in network marketing, maybe you're in traditional business, whatever it is. I want you to write that down. And I want you to say by December 31st, 2020, all right? I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn $1 million a day by December 31st, 2020. Whatever that goal is, the number doesn't really matter, okay? Now,
Wait. David, I heard what you said. You said yours is you're making $1 million a day by December 31st, by 2020. Is that what you said?
That is what I said.
Woo! I hope you didn't miss that, folks. I'm not trying to tease you. I'm just trying to tell you.
I've got, and I'm going to get to what it is that I'm doing to create the conditions and create the environment for that to take place. All right, because some of you may say, man, that's an outlandish goal. And yeah, there's a reason why I set that goal so big. Okay, and I'm going to get to that here in a little bit. But here's what I want to go through with you. I want you to really start studying the self-confidence formula. And I'm going to read step 1 for you, all right, because this is going to position you for faith, because this is going to allow you to actually create faith in your life. It says that I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Well, I can't know that I have the ability to achieve something if I haven't written what it is that I want to achieve, if I haven't written that definite purpose. And that definite purpose right now could be just you making $10,000 a month. That's okay. Therefore, I demand of myself persistence, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Let me give that to you in today's language. Basically, what he's telling you to do is he wants you to begin with the end in mind and write down specifically what is it that you intend to have. What does that favorable life look like? All right?
David, where do you read that from?
This is in Think and Grow Rich. This is the self-confidence formula in the book Think and Grow Rich. All right? Now, I know that I have the ability. Why do I know I have the ability? I know that I have the ability because I've made the connection that there is a power, there is a force that's on the inside of me that is undefeated, that can do anything, right? So I've made that connection that that force is on the inside of me, so I know I have the ability. But here's where it gets to the meat and potatoes. It says that I realize that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action. See, a lot of times people think that, okay, I just have to dream it up and I just have to think about it and you become what it is that you think about. That's very true, but listen to what it says here. It says that I realize that the dominating thoughts. So what are the dominating thoughts? I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning $1 million a day. I realize that that will eventually reproduce themselves in some sort of outward physical action. So when I have this dominating thought in my mind of earning this type of income, what follows that is action, not the result. Action follows this dominating thought that's in my mind. Okay? And then it says it will gradually transform themselves into physical reality. See, so it starts up in the mind, and then I go do the physical work, and then it shows up in my physical reality, and it shows up gradually. It'll transform itself there. So therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. Okay? Guys, if you get number 2 on the self-confidence formula, we could end the call right here.
Right there.
Because the key thing is, what is the dominating thought in your mind? See, if the dominating thought in your mind is what CNN said, if the dominating thought in your mind is what your current circumstance is, if the dominating thought in your mind is what your bank account says, what this says is that it will reproduce itself in some type of physical action, right? If the wrong things are dominating your mind, you're going to take action, but it's going to be the wrong action. But if you got the right things going in, the things that you desire, right, the things that you want, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning $1 million a day, or whatever your goal is, if that's the dominating thought of your mind, it will reproduce itself in some physical action and then gradually transform itself into physical reality. That's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. See, all of this is positioning you for favor. Go ahead, Marcia.
David, this is absolutely spot on the money. But what I want to do is I kind of want to be a little Batman and Robin here. I want to be a little yin and yang. I want to challenge what you're saying for all the different folks that are listening. So, David, listen, man, you're sitting there. You're talking about by December 31st of this year, you plan to be earning $1 million a day. Here it is, David. I just got laid off from my job. I don't really know where I'm going to get my next dollar from. You sitting in 2 Rolls Royces, a Lamborghini, $1 million spread. You know, you're beyond the Viva Loca. And so David, you okay, man, I wrote it down. My goals are written down. I am beginning to say positive auto-suggestion things to myself. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Imonitie. How long would this take for me to begin to start manifesting the things that I've written down? How do I speed this up? Can I speed it up?
Well, see, that's the challenge for most people is their faith is relying on what they can see. See, I'll only have faith that it's going to happen if I can see it. Well, that's not faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's why my affirmation is I'm so happy and grateful now. Because it's not the money that you want. It's the feeling that you want. Okay? It's the feeling that you want. And the time, see, man operates on time. But the things that I'm talking about right now are part of the spiritual side of success that will create the physical side of success. So when I say something, right, that's when it goes into creation. It's kind of like me planting a seed outside, And then I say, well, when is it going to grow? Or coming back tomorrow and saying, how come it hasn't bared any fruit yet? There's an appointed time. That's why it says write the vision, make it plain, so who sees it will run. Though it may tarry, wait on it. All right, it will not tarry. It says that the vision cannot lie. See, my belief is so strong in that when I write this goal down, even though I may say it's going to happen by December 31st, or I say it's going to happen by this, whatever, I'm not so tied to that date. What I'm tied to is the fact that I wrote it down, and I know that this vision that I've written down, it's going to happen. Every goal that I've ever written down has come to pass. Now, you may say, well, David, this is where you are
every
right now.
Goal you've written down, David? Every goal?
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, every goal I've written down has come to pass.
Not necessarily in that time frame, but it eventually happened.
Absolutely. I can show you index cards. I can show you my calendar, goals that I wrote down. Well, I was going to make $20,000 a month, $100,000 a month, $1 million a month. All those I wrote it all down, and it's all happened. And their goals, listen, every goal, even the ones that haven't physically happened yet, they've already happened, because it says that it will gradually transform themselves into physical reality. So just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it's not happening. A lady gets pregnant, right? She's got to hold that baby for 9 months. She can't get frustrated the 5th month and say, where's that baby? No, she's got to go through the whole entire process. But those are physical things. Spiritual gestation, no one knows the time. No one knows, it's going to take 2 years. It's going to take 5 years. Well, that's where faith comes into play. That's where having the right emotions come into play, right? That's where that confidence of knowing that I am favored, that I am going to go beyond, right? So that's why I tell people I focus more on the spiritual side of success than the physical side of success, way more.
Right.
I barely teach on the actual skill set. I used to a whole lot because I thought that was how people would get to the very top. Now, you do have to take a lot of action, and you do have to be skilled, but that happens over time. But what's going to keep you going is what I'm talking to you about right here, having the dominating thought of your mind of where it is that you're going. See, if you're that guy that says, David, you don't understand my situation, that lets me know that you don't understand what it is that I'm sharing with you right now, because you're focused on your situation. I'm not focused on your situation. Just like I didn't focus on the situation when I was living with my dad on a twin-size bed and I had $1,000 to my name, and I couldn't pay child support of $50, and I didn't have a car. And when I did use my dad's car, I would run out of gas. Days I would sleep in my car. When people thought I was staying at a hotel, I would sleep in my car. When I was driving 7 hours to go do a meeting, you weren't there. You weren't there when I was driving 7 hours to do a meeting. One person show up, 7 hours back. You weren't there. You weren't there when I went to bed without having any food, just drinking water. You weren't there when I would get the phone call that my daughter needed diapers and I didn't have the money. You weren't there. What was I doing then? Acting out my faith, speaking it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And then, boom, it started to happen. You know how long it took? It took 4.5, almost 5 years. Then I finally broke through, got to $100,000 a year. Then, boom, went from $100,000, it just sprung up to $500,000, to 1.4, 2.2. Then guess what? I had a dip. All right? Went from 2.2 million. 4 years later, I was back down to 300,000. All right? What did I have to do there? I had to enact my faith again, start speaking. Where it is that I'm going? I'm going to $1 million a month. I'm going to $1 million a month. In 18 months, okay, it was about almost 2 years in a company, I was able to hit the $1 million in a month mark. All right?
Dave,
So I've been there.
You know what? You went exactly where I wanted to pause, because that's what I want everybody to hear. See, I'm sick and tired of all the people that you guys oftentimes get to hear from a person like David. It could be, an XYZ profession. And they're standing at the top, per se, trying to help you get there. And a lot of times what happens is your perception as a listener is, well, man, I don't know if this guy's ever been down before, because they don't see you down. They're hearing your success after it's been achieved, after it's been realized. But, David, if you could, take us back to November of 2016. Where were you This is before the big run that you've experienced here recently. Where were you at financially? What was life like then? And what, more importantly, what were you doing? This is the part I want everybody to get, where he's a man of what he says. He's not just teaching you this. He does this. This truly works. And if it can work for David, I'm certain it can work for you. So if you could, David, paint us a clear picture of 2016 November where you were.
Well, that whole year was an interesting year. I had 2015, that year I made $650,000. All right, so that was down from 1.1 million in 2014. So 2016, I'm moseying along and I'm thinking, okay, we could turn this thing around. And I look up and I'm on pace to only make $300,000 that year. So now just imagine going from 2.2 million. And in less than 4 years, you're down to 300,000. I was waking up in sweat, like one side of my bed would be completely wet because I was sweating the whole night. I would have chest pain, right? I kept hearing this voice telling me, I'm going to take everything away from you. You're going to lose the house. You're going to lose your cars, right? You're going to be shamed, right? I kept hearing this voice. And what I decided to do in that very moment, I decided to forget. What I learned, and what I learned was this. I decided to create a whole new future that made my past obsolete. Because as long as I kept holding on to the 2.2 million, as long as I kept holding on to who I was, then I would never be able to reach for who it is that God wanted me to go to in the future. So I created a whole new goal that was far greater than anything that I had already accomplished, something that was way more compelling, something that was way more exciting. And then guess what I did, Romacio? I took the focus off of me. My next goal that I set, it wasn't to make a certain amount of money. It was to create a certain amount of leaders. And I said, I'm going to have 100 people hit this particular rank, and I'm going to do it in 18 months. Now, I knew helping 100 people hit that rank would allow me to earn a certain amount of income. But I didn't focus on the income. I focused on 100. And then I had the whole team focused on 100. And in 18 months, matter of fact, 17 months, we helped over 100 people hit the rank where they were making over $10,000 a month, and it allowed me to hit the rank that allowed me to earn, a serious amount of income. So what happened was I was so focused on me. I was so focused on my success. See, if you're sitting there right now and you're worried about your issues and your challenges, focusing on your challenges don't allow you to actually solve those challenges. They don't. What you can do is focus on the solution. What is the solution? Service to many leads to greatness. Who can I help? Who can I help get promoted in this company? Who can I give encouragement to? Who can I give inspiration to? Whenever I feel down, right? Whenever I have a down moment, you know what I do? I look for ways to give inspiration. Whatever it is that you give, right, you get to keep. The more belief that I've been able to share with people, even right now, as I'm sharing this information with you, guess what? More power is being drawn onto me, because the more power I give out, the more that I get to keep. Every single time I teach, I had a Zoom call earlier. We had about 5,000 people on there. Guess what? Gave more energy there. See, if you want more energy, you've got to give more energy. So focusing on your problem and saying, well, it was me, and Davey, you don't understand. And you know what? You're right. I don't understand, because it's your situation. Just like you didn't understand the situation that I was in. It's foolish for you to believe that somebody should understand what it is that you're going through. But, okay, let's just say I do understand. What is that going to do for you? What is me understanding your challenge going to do for you right now? It's not understanding your challenge that you need. It's what's the solution. And if you're working within the company right now, I can promise you there's somebody in your company that is succeeding. You need to find out, how do they think? You need to find out what is it they're doing, and then go and repeat those two things over and over and over and over. And if you have to ask me, when is it going to happen, it means that you really don't believe. It means that you really don't have faith. I don't have to know when it's going to happen. I know it's already happened. I know it is. It's a done deal. Completely.
David, take us a little bit further into that, because I want everybody to hear everything you said, in particular the last thing, which was, if you have to ask me when it's going to happen, that, according to these principles, it really means you don't believe that it's going to happen. You talked about gestational and you talked about physical. Can you kind of clear up, what does that mean? I want everyone to understand what gestational means.
Here's my philosophy on it. All right, and gestational means that, if you plant tomato seeds, when you're going to get the tomato fruit. There's a time period. But spiritual gestation, there's no time period for it, because that's not how God operates. God doesn't operate based on 6 o'clock p.m. or this date. Man created time. How God operates and how you operate spiritually is that when you say it, that's when it's done. When I actually wrote it down, when I actually say it, that's when it's done. Now, if I want a banana, if I want to manifest a banana right now, it's not going to take me long to get a banana. Why? Because it's a banana. But if I want to manifest $1 million a day, that's not going to happen in 2 minutes, right? And you should be glad. I learned this on The Secret. You should be glad that every thought that you have or everything that you say doesn't happen right away. Think about how many times you said to yourself, man, my head is killing me. Imagine if everything you said came to pass right away. You would be dead, right? Or if I said, hey, I want a jet right now, and a jet landed in my house, what would happen? I'll be dead.
Right.
Right? So thank God everything I say doesn't happen right away. Think about how many thoughts you've had about other people, and imagine if those thoughts happened right away. You would feel pretty bad about yourself, right? So stop worrying about, when is it going to happen? Live in the moment of being happy and grateful now. I'm happy and grateful now that I'm earning $1 million a day. I can already feel what it's going to be like when I see in my investments $1 million in a day. $1 million in a day. Yeah, I see it. I see it. And if I can earn it in a day, then guess what? I can earn it another day. And I can earn it another day. I don't need for this to happen right now for me to be excited about it. I can be excited about it now, even before it actually shows up. And you can do the same thing with $10,000 a month. And then at $10,000 a month, it gets a little easier. Now you believe for $20,000. And you get to 20. The key is to have the formula. Here's the formula. Words, images, emotions. That's how I've created everything in my life. I spoke it, I saw it, and I felt it. That's it. That's how God operates. He spoke light, saw light, and then he called the light good. Good is a feeling. Feel good. Now, you say, well, when did it happen? See, I love the word and. See, the word and, A-N-D. And is a time period. God spoke light, and then it was light. We don't know how long that took. That could have been 1,000 years. That could have been 1 minute. We don't know. We don't know. All we know is that he spoke it, and then it showed up, right? I don't know how long it took me to get to where it is that I am right now. Some people say, it took 16 years. You've been in the industry. Well, the first 4.5 years, I didn't make any money. Then the 5th year, I made $100,000. I could have stopped then, but I kept dreaming for more. And that's why the key is to keep dreaming for more. That's the key, all right? Keep dreaming for more.
David, so tell me this. Do you believe that there are levels to favor? And if so, talk a little bit about that. Like, in other words, 2016, you were in XYZ. Here it is. You just earned over $9.2 million from just one of the companies that you are a part of and that you're doing, and you earned over $9.2 million in 12 months. So it begs the question for those listeners that are saying, you know what, David, I want to follow what you're saying. I want to not just try this. I want to do this. But is there levels to this? Just like in a grade school, like you got level 1, you got level 10. Is there levels to favor? If I want to be the overachiever, David, what would that look like versus if I just want to be the person that manifests a banana? Is there levels to this?
You know what? There is. And the level to the favor that you actually receive is according to, guess what? Your faith. According to your faith, may it be done unto you. What's going to be done unto you? That favor that you're looking for, those goals, those dreams. So because of the faith that I have for $1 million a day, because of the faith that I have that I'll be a billionaire, right? Because of the faith that I have that I'll be able to give, multiple seven figures every single year, okay? Because I was talking to my mom today, and this is the first time I ever said this to her, because she was calling me about my sister. And I said, Mom, I don't want you to worry. My focus is generations. Your lineage, your generations to come will be taken care of. I want you to know that. When you go, I want you to rest easy that generations, what I'm putting together right now, generations will be taken care of. So my faith for that, ladies and gentlemen, decides the level of favor that will be bestowed upon me. So when I go in front of a king, I can ask the king for $1, and the king is going to give me $1.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can go in front of the king and say, King, I want $1 billion. Mm-hmm. And because the king has trillions, or what's even beyond trillion, he can say, here's $1 billion, right? So I got the favor with $1. I got the favor with $1 billion. But there's different levels to it based on what I ask for, based on what it is that I believe for, based on what my faith allowed me to actually ask for. So to answer your question, yes, there is levels to it, but the level to it is determined by that person's faith.
100%. I agree 100%. Two last questions, David. One, can you share with us a specific time that you recall where everything that you believe in was being questioned? Like there was, in other words, all this auto-suggestion, positioning yourself, all the things that you've been doing, but you found yourself in a situation where it just didn't look like, wow, that you was going to make it out or that this was going to happen. It could be personal, it could be spiritual, it could be financial, whatever. Can you share a specific time where, and I think you just did a minute ago when you said you just decided to create a bigger future and focus on other people, but can you, what I'm trying to give people is, for all the people that are really experiencing some of the toughest seasons that they've ever been through right now, what was something that you physically did? We live in a time right now, David, where people got so much stuff in their heads, so many emotions. They got families to take care of. They don't know where they're going to work next week. They don't know. It's just a lot of stuff is going on. But I feel that when we deliver it real simple, this is what you can do. And then the second question I want to talk about is Believe Nation, because I'm excited to reveal that to everyone on how you created this platform to help people beyond this hour phone call. But take me through those two questions.
Guys, I'll just be straight up with you. You gotta toughen up. Okay, you gotta toughen up, because what happens sometimes is we're looking for someone to understand our plight. We're looking for someone to understand what it is that we're going through, and there's a lot going on in this world, and this and that and this and that. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a lot going on before the pandemic. There were people that were dying before the pandemic. There were people that were getting laid off before the pandemic. There were people that were in financial ruin before the pandemic. This world 500 years ago looked completely different from how it looks right now. 1,000 years ago it looked completely different. So, focusing on whatever your challenges are right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to solve it. I promise you that it's never that strategy has never worked for anybody. I would recommend you stop that strategy, and what I would do is I would get connected to someone that is living the life that you desire. That's what I would do. My life completely changed when I got connected to someone that was living the life that I didn't even know I desired. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't even know what a Bentley looked like. I didn't even know what it felt like to get into a $1 million home. That's what I would recommend, because you got to remove yourself from the environment that you're in right now. You got to remove yourself from that voice that you're listening to right now. See, I started to inundate myself with personal self-development. I didn't want to talk to myself when I was saying the wrong things to myself. I started surrounding myself with people that had greater results than I did. I wanted to forget whatever that situation that I was in. I wanted to forget that and put myself in a different environment, put myself around different people, listen to information that was going to inspire me and encourage me to go out there and make things happen. You're no different than myself. You're no different from Romancio. You just have to get off your butt. Stop making excuses. If you're out there right now and you're thinking, oh, well, because of this or because of that, then you're misusing the power that's on the inside of you. You've got to get up. You've got to get up and say, no, this is what I desire. Put the pictures up, the cars that you want to drive, the homes that you want to live in, the trips that you want to take. Right now, I'm a multi-millionaire, and I still have signs up in my house. You come right now, in my fridge, it's right there. It says, I'm so happy and grateful now that I earn $1 million a day. On my kitchen counter, it's right there. In my office, it's right there. In my bedroom, both bedsides, it's right there. Go into my closet, it's right there. My bathroom, it's right there. Why? Why? Because I'm not going to stay in the current situation that I'm in. See, guys, you're much closer to $1 million a year than I am to my goals. You're closer. Wherever you are right now, you're closer to $1 million a year than I am to my goals. Much closer. Much closer. But I'm not paying attention to my current situation. I'm paying attention to where it is that I'm going. And I've created the environment. I've created the conditions for it to happen. See, an environment is a condition. It's a surrounding where you can flourish. Where you can what? Flourish. So you got to ask yourself, what environment are you going home to? See, if you're driving a car you don't want to drive right now, you need to put pictures of the car that you want all around that car.
All around it. That's right.
That's what I did. That's what I did. So I didn't get here just happenstance. And that's why I've been able to teach it to other people. And I've lost count. I literally have lost count of how many seven-figure earners are in my organization. I definitely don't know how many six-figure earners we have in my organization right now. Okay. And it's not because I'm great. It's because I've learned these principles and I've taught it to other people. And that's why we created Believe Nation. And I created this platform that some people are upset with me that I'm giving it away for free. Right? It's the most powerful achievement platform on the planet. This is daily coaching and mentorship for me. Right? We have daily success habits that I put in there. I do a video call once a month with the group. Sometimes it'll be more than that. But I've created a community. It's a social media platform. It's going to be as big as Facebook, Instagram, all that. But it's all geared towards achievement. It's all geared towards belief. No negativity whatsoever. No nonsense like you see in all these other social media platforms. This is strategically just for your belief system to grow, for you to get better.
And one more time, David, it's called Believe Nation. How do they find it? BelieveNation.com?
BelieveNation.com. DELIEVE Nation, NATION.com, BelieveNation.com. And I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the word leave, LIEVE, means loved by God. B is to be in a state of, to exist. So when a person believes, what they're basically saying is, I'm in the state of, I am loved by God. That's why this word has meant the world to me over the last 11 years that I've been studying it and have been teaching it. Believe.
Wow. Wow, absolutely well said. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you listened in. We got about 5 more minutes, but I hope you guys all wrote that down to be able to get more of this at BelieveNation.com. Absolutely free. We tell you all the time, gifts are meant to share, not to keep. And David has taken something that has been given to him, and he's sharing it. He's sharing it with all of you. And so I'm really excited that he's created this social media platform for everyone. Now, is this in multiple languages, David, or what's the capacity? Because this call will be listened to by literally tens of thousands of people. Is it multilingual, or talk to us about it?
Yeah, right now we have it in English and in Spanish as of right now. But, yes, for us to reach the goals that we have, it will be available in all different languages. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you know what? I want to take the last couple of minutes, David, and I want to talk about literally I want to get your thoughts about the industry of network marketing, and do you believe it's changing? You know, I get this question a lot, David, a lot, especially right now. People are asking me, should I be a part of a service company? Should I be a part of a product-based company? Do home meetings still work? Should I be on Zoom? Do I do lives? I've never received so much mail and questions about, well, how do I really do it? And again, we only have 5 minutes to go here, guys, but I want to get your thoughts, just picking your brain, David. Obviously, number 6 income earner in the world, number 1 African-American. Tell us, what's your thoughts about the industry of direct sales and network marketing as a whole? If it is changing, talk about it a little bit. I'm curious to hear what you think.
Well, it would be, in my opinion, it would be stupid for anyone to think that the industry of network marketing has not changed. When I started in network marketing 16 years ago, we didn't fill out applications online. We mailed in applications. When a person signed up, we had to mail in.
That's right. I remember that.
You remember that, right?
I remember that, baby.
Mail in those applications for them to get processed. And then somebody came out with, hey, why don't you fill out the application online? What?
What?
What do you mean? You mean I don't have to mail it out? Jesus, this is incredible, right? So, of course, the industry is changing. Of course. And listen, I'm kind of late to the party, even though I have benefited tremendously, and this is all part of the favor. I'll tell you right now, when I look across the industry, Romacio, social media has taken over. Back in our day, if you wanted to meet 10 people in a day, you had to leave your house. You had to go to Walmart. You had to go to Starbucks. You had to go to the mall. You had to go to the department stores and the grocery stores and walk around with a cart acting like you're shopping, but you're not shopping. You're looking for people to prospect, right? But guess what? These people today, these kids today, they don't have to do that. They can be on IG. They can be on Facebook groups. And that's how this thing is. If you just pay attention to the ones that are winning right now in all these different companies, I will tell you that social media is playing a major, major role in all that. And what it's done is accelerated. I got a young guy in my group. He's 23. He's never done network marketing before. He just hit a rank that's paying him over $500,000 a month. Over half. And Romacio, he's not as skilled. He's not skilled. Right? He's not the greatest orator. He's not the greatest. Like, we had to know how to present. We had to know how to do a presentation and move people during the presentation and close. We had to know how to close, and this ABCs on closing, and you got to say this at this particular time and say that. We had to go through. They don't have to do that. Social media, it's all a numbers game, right? Network marketing is a numbers game, and social media has allowed people to reach more people much faster than you going belly to belly. Home meetings, I love home meetings. I do. I really do. That's how I made my first millions. But think about what's going on right now with the COVID. If your business was completely based on home meetings, you're shot.
You're done.
You're shot. So what are people doing right now? Zoom. Check this out, huh? I never did a Zoom presentation. Never did a Zoom presentation in 7.5 years in my last company, the coffee company that we were in, right? I never did a Zoom presentation. All I did was conference calls and home meetings. When I joined this company, Zoom. Zoom. How we built the business? Zoom. You want to know how to build? Zoom. How many Zooms are you doing?
That's it. Zoomy Zoom.
Right? So, now watch this. I'm going to leave you guys with this, all right, because I do have to run. I'm going to show you this. Watch this. When you set the goal and you say, this is what I want, all right, check this out. It's going to blow you away right here, okay? When you set the goal and you say, this is what I want, this is what's going to happen, watch this. I'm going to read this to you from the self-confidence formula, because this word really blew me away. Watch this.
And you're reading this from Think and Grow Rich. Tell them again. Yep. I want everybody to hear.
It's in the chapter Faith, self-confidence formula. Watch this.
Got it.
It says, I know through the principle of auto-suggestion any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of me attaining the object back of it. I'm going to repeat that again. I know through the principle of autosuggestion. So because I keep saying to myself, I'm earning $1 million a day, because that's any desire. It doesn't say it has to be small. It doesn't say it has to be big. It says any desire that I persistently hold in my mind. How do I hold an image in my mind? By me seeing it, by me saying it, that's me holding it in my mind, will eventually seek expression through some practical means. So guess what? The company I'm with right now, I can't make $1 million a day in that company. There's no rank in the company that's available for me to make $1 million a day. But look what it says here.
Yep.
It says it will seek expression through some practical means. So whatever the practical means will be for me to get to this goal, because I've held it in my mind, it's going to go and seek it out. So maybe it's an investment. Maybe it's real estate. Maybe it's my ambulance company. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's the Bitcoin that I have. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
It's going to go out there and seek it. It's going to seek the practical means for me. See, I believe this stuff. This is 500 of the richest people in the world. This is what they said when they made billions during the Great Depression, when $1 billion was $1 billion. So I don't know. I don't know whatever situation you're in. Read this. Some practical means. I don't have to know how it's going to happen. It's going to seek it out for me. And when it does, I'll let you know about it. You know what I'm saying? Moss, man, I appreciate you, man.
Hey, David, thank you so much for jumping on and pouring in to all of these people that are listening live and those that are listening to the replay. Congratulations again and again and again for the contribution you're making across the world through applied leadership. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Again, we're proud. We salute you. I want all of the listeners that are here, plug into BelieveNation.com. It's absolutely free. As you're listening, if you're trying to summarize everything that we're talking about today, it all stems from belief. As a man thinketh, so is he. Thank you for breaking it down into applicable steps that each of us can apply. And I'm going to upload this call, guys, within the next 24 hours to the site. And what I want you to do is I want you to share it. Absolutely free. Share this call with as many people as you can. And thanks again, David. I love you. I love all of you guys that are listening. And we'll end with this. Always remember, in all that you do, there is nobody in the entire world any greater than you. I love you guys. We'll see you guys all next Sunday. Thanks for timing in, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.